Hey kids, Pastor Dave here, and I want to tell you a story that's a real favorite story of mine. It's about long ago, a man was made the king. Actually, he was a young man, and his name was David. So this is a very special story to me since I have that same name. But what's so interesting about this story is that David was not somebody who looked like he would be the special person. Actually, the story started well before David with a woman who was wanting to have a baby named Hannah. And so maybe Hannah and Eli and Sam can help me with the story today. A woman wanted to have a baby named Hannah, and she couldn't have a baby because, I don't know, something didn't work right in her, and so she was not able to have a baby. And her husband Eli was sorry for Hannah, but also had children from another marriage before, and so he was just okay. But Hannah prayed to God that God would give her a baby, and indeed, after a while, a baby came, and the baby's name was Samuel, which is God gives a gift. And so Samuel was very special, a special baby that was maybe not to be. And Samuel grew up, and not only was the baby special to Hannah, but Sam was very special to God and was dedicated to God for God's service. And so Samuel actually became a prophet, or a prophet is somebody who speaks for God. God gives the prophet special words to say, special deeds to perform, special wisdom and knowledge to convey to everybody so that they could better know God. And Samuel went around, and what happened in Samuel's country, the people of Israel, was that they were wanting to have a king, and Samuel was made to go and make a man named Saul the king, but Saul just didn't quite work out well. And so God said, I need a different one. I need a different king. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go to a place called Bethlehem, and there you will find a family having dinner. And one of the sons of that family is going to be made the new king. And I'm going to have you make that person a king by putting a special oil all over their head and let it run down their face and onto their clothing. And that's how we'll know that this new person is going to be the king. So Samuel went to the house of Jesse, and Jesse and his 7 sons were there eating a big festival dinner, and they were really happy that Samuel came to be with them, and they fed Samuel. They did everything they could to make Sam feel special. And then when Samuel said it was time, he said, I'm going to reveal that one of you, the sons of Jesse, will be king. And they started to show Samuel all the sons, from the first one to the second one, the third one to the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one, and the seventh one. And every time when Samuel was saying to God, is this the one? Then God said no. So he got all done with all 7 sons at the table. And Samuel said to Jesse, you don't have another son? Is this it? And they said, oh yeah, there is a shepherd boy, the last one, the smallest, the runt of the litter, the runt of the litter, and he's out in the field tending the sheep. Samuel said, call him. And one of the brothers, or a couple of brothers, went to go get David and brought him in. And while he was the 8th, the last one, the one least likely to be chosen, when Samuel saw David, he said, God said, this is the one that I want you to anoint with oil so that he could be a king. So Samuel put oil on David's head, a big jar, a big flask of oil that came on David's head and ran down his face and the back of his head and onto his clothes. And it wasn't something that everybody's going to know about, but it was a sign of the future, that God had chosen another special one. And God was going to use that one to help all his people. So I don't know how it goes with you. Sometimes, we play a game and we get chosen to be on the team, or maybe we're the last one chosen on the team and it feels bad. But God looks at us all differently than we might look as human beings. We might think we want the biggest one, the fastest one, the smartest one. But sometimes God picks the surprising one as a way of telling all of us that we might be that one who is chosen. In fact, that's what Jesus came to tell us, that all of us are chosen by God to be used for God's purposes in the world. So I hope this finds you feeling special and loved today by God, and that you might be that one who knows that you are a king or a queen of God, to serve Jesus in the world and to let God's love show through you. Thanks, Samuel and Eli and Hannah, for helping tell this story today. And blessings on all of you kids. Bye-bye.